All right, Evil Tides of Saltmarsh Sun. So Evil Tides of Saltmarsh Sun is a couple of sessions behind my Moon group, and both of the groups run off of experience points. So my other three games all run off of milestones. I guess four if you count Hero Quest, but Hero Quest is unique because it's just a series of one shots. So like you'd have to level off of like milestone because there's yeah. Anyways, um, it's a constant thing that I see people talk about, like the benefits. Why would you do XP? Why would you do milestone? How do you decide between XP and milestone and all that jazz? So here's the thing. I find that XP generally goes over better with gamers. So if your player base is primarily has a background with like video games, things like that, they're going to understand XP. They're going to find XP to be exciting. They like the idea of earning a currency every session and being able to watch their progress bar fill up. So XP definitely has a immediate benefit in that way. Whereas a milestone game can feel very arbitrary. It can kind of feel like, well, the DM is ready for you to be high enough in level, so you're going to be high enough in level. Um, if I had to say there's only one way to do it, and you have to do it this way, and I had to choose one way to do it for the rest of my life, I would definitely do milestone. Because milestone gives the DM absolute control over the pacing of the game, and is it allows the GM to guide the story in a direction that they want it to go, because they can just say like, uh, this is the next thing you need to do to get you to level up is this, and basically just turn a plot point into a juicy golden carrot. In my Storm King's Thunder game, it was recommended by the book, I believe, to run Milestone because it is a huge sandbox adventure. And if they wander around too much in a big sandbox adventure, they will eventually sort of just run into the point of getting all the XP they ever need without actually doing the adventure. And then it's a store bought adventure, so everything's been balanced ahead of time. So now it's going to be unbalanced, etc., etc., etc. So they were like, play it. It's kind of like Skyrim. Like you could go anywhere you want, do whatever you want, but you're not going to level up unless you do the things that we list in this book. Like the players have to go here, they have to fight some giants, they have to get some artifacts, they have to figure out this thing. That's how they level up. Pathfinder, Skull and Shackles, the original way it was written, it was XP based, but it was XP based in a very milestone way. Like they would just tell you, make sure they're this level before you start this section of the story. And to me, that seems really tricky because it's basically saying, don't forget to buy all these extra Paizo, side adventures that we sell or that you're subscribed to so that you have lots of stuff to do to make sure that you hit the levels that you need to hit before you get to the next section of the adventure because we only built this section of the adventure around this level. In that way, they probably could have just made it Milestone. I don't think that Milestones had really been an official thing yet. A million years ago when Skull and Shackles was written. I run Skull and Shackles as a milestone-based campaign, similar to Skull and Shackles, to Storm King's Thunder. I say, yeah, you can go anywhere you want, you can do anything you want, but you're only going to level up if you get your own ship, get your own pirate hideout, become legendary captain, get a legendary captain, and so on and so forth. Now, with Saltmarsh, again, Saltmarsh as a published adventure is not really a campaign. It's 7 independent adventures that are kind of linked together, but not really, and they kind of have a theme of like water, but barely. And it does require you to sort of string them together into a cohesive campaign. So I ended up running it as a smaller size sandbox, like smaller than Storm King's Thunder. For that reason, I figured if it's going to be XP based anyways, I might as well, or sorry, if it's going to be very sandbox anyways, with no clear storyline, because honestly, there really isn't a very clear storyline for Saltmarsh, I might as well make it XP based. And the XP that they earn will set the pacing of the adventure. Now, what this means is that I am basically running like a homebrew game that I'm trying to get them to run the 7 Saltmarsh adventures during the course of that homebrew game. I could not imagine just playing the 7 adventures from the Saltmarsh book in a row and having a good time. That just doesn't seem like it would work. That being said, the party is now, both parties are going to be level 8. And I fell really far behind on their XP, and I hadn't been handing it out every week because calculating XP is another thing to do on top of all the other things to do. Another reason why milestones are better, because there's less bookkeeping for the DM. And yeah, my one group was actually 2 sessions behind leveling up, and they were really good sports about it, but I could understand being kind of pissed. And my Sun group, I just noticed that they were about to level. So next session, they're like 200 XP away from leveling. Now, the interesting thing about running an XP-based game is my Sun group is poised to take on a very tough boss monster, but they wish they were a little stronger. Well, they can just go do something else to get strong, because that's the benefit of an XP-based game. They could say, hey, this challenge lies ahead of us, but this is too challenging for us. Let's go on this side quest and level up, and then come back, and then we'll be stronger. It feels a lot more organic. It feels a lot less scripted. It feels a lot more free. It has a better feeling, I think, for the players, as far as like, we have agency, we have control. It's a heck of a lot more work for the DM. So I guess the final takeaway from this is XP or Milestone. Like so many things in Dungeons and Dragons, it's something you have to communicate with your group. It's something that you have to decide based on the campaign, the flavor of the campaign, and the play style of the players. So definitely think hard about it and decide, do you want an easier time as a DM with a more story-focused narrative, or do you want a more challenging time as a DM and basically allow your players a lot more control over the narrative and the direction that they want to take the campaign, because those are things that definitely happen with an XP-based game. Alright, so that's all I had to say about that. Maybe rambled on a little bit longer than I should have. It's a complicated topic that you could find 1.5 million videos on. But yeah, XP versus Milestone. Alright, catch you in the next video.